Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Interactive Friction Tomb Raider. I am your host, Brandon Carey. Joining me, of course, is Olympic archer Samuel Callahan.
Only the best. And if it's been a while since we recorded our last sessions, we're doing in batches, but last episode, Laura was being captured by a couple of guys trying to rescue Sam, and then got thrown off a bridge into a river of blood. And so now we're in this like underground cavern. And this is weird because this is the only time you see these guys. Who I guess are just depraved cannibals is the whole thing. Which again is very much like The Descent. Which we mentioned in the last episode, the exact camera shot from
It's a movie reference!
But like even this is, because they have like the creatures that were eating people. Which is weird. Like I don't know if like this whole thing is supposed to be an homage or if that was just a coincidence. But it's interesting nonetheless.
I imagine it was somewhat intentional.
Yeah, because otherwise I don't really see the need for this part to exist. Like, it's interesting, but it's like,
but, like,
the
it doesn't
overall, like, what is the
story?
Yeah, how does the story benefit from having these cannibal guys?
And then the mechanic this area is teaching you is that you can shoot flaming arrows into the gas to blow things up.
Yeah. So, I remember the first few times I played this, I went down there because I thought that was the way to go. And it's like, oh, you can go explore and you get kind of attacked by them every once in a while, but you can also just go this way and you'll never see them again. Which, again, makes it kind of weird because then you just show up and then they're gone and that's it. It's like, well, that was...
I always blow them up.
Yeah, I'll leave them be. Fortunately, I don't think anyone's going to come around to feed them after this.
You know, explosions are pretty. Or is that just me?
Pretty. Go around this way, GPS tracker, not get caught by this guy.
There's a GPS cache right there for like no reason whatsoever.
I don't remember if we mentioned in the last episode because it hadn't really started, but this is a good example of, we actually mentioned this in Far Cry 3, where I specifically said I like the idea of a game reinforcing its stealth mechanics by just taking away all your weapons at some point in the game. Just going like, alright, just go back to basics for a little bit. You know, you can do that poorly.
Or you can totally just asphyxiate these guys right here.
Yeah.
Or, you know, shove an axe into their back. That works too.
Yeah. But, you know, like, you can fuck this up in certain ways by just making it take too long or just, you know, not choosing your weapon carefully. But I really like the way they did it here, where it's like, just for, like, maybe, like, 20 minutes you get the bow, and it's just a little bit of combat.
And I do like how the reticule turns red when you're in the gas, just so you know for sure if you're going to blow something up or not. A lot of games have that problem where, like, you don't really get that indicator if you're shooting a target that's not, like, an enemy.
Alright, so this time I'm actually going to kill all the guys. I forgot they come back.
Yeah, just axe them.
Yeah.
You were Larry Kraft Axeman.
Also, it's funny, this is like one of these smaller bits of characterization the enemies get.
Yeah.
I wish there was more of this. Like, I'm currently replaying through The Last of Us, and, you know, like, the enemies every once in a while do this, but it always seems like sort of a gimmick, where it's like, every few stages they'll talk about something, and it's like, why don't they always talk about something?
It seems forced when they do it, too, in The Last of Us, I found.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like this is obvious exposition because obvious exposition, and you need to know this stuff, kinda, sorta, but not really.
Or in a case like this, it's like, we're setting atmosphere, but it's like very deliberately doing so in this specific area where you're forced to stealth.
Yeah.
So you can't just kill them outright because you don't have the ability to. I just wish, like, it seems like real human beings would always be talking about something or other.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right, I totally forgot you usually shoot the light out. I didn't know it went out by itself. Usually I shoot it out. Then you can kill this guy. Oh. Oh. Alright, there we go. That's the way you're supposed to do this section. And it's a diary from Reyes. I don't know why they have it, but they do.
Don't they have Reyes kidnapped right now?
They have all of them. Like Jonas,
Reyes,
and...
it's not implausible for, in this particular instance, for them to have taken it from her.
Sure.
We'll say. We'll give this one, out of all the diaries, justification.
Just the one. Alright, at this point the upgrades are kind of like just fluff, where it's like, you can do a little bit more.
It's that Far Cry 3 problem where after like, a while, you're just spending upgrades just to spend your points without ever actually, like, needing them anymore.
Yeah, and I still stand by my earlier comment about how I think the upgrades thematically work better. about how they get more aggressive and all
Yeah.
that, but even so, it's still at some point is like, yeah, you're just upgrading.
Once you get your basic tools, that's all you really need.
Yeah. Like, you know, the one I just got, which is basically if you dodge, you can implant an arrow in a guy's knee. Like, that's nice, but when you have guns, it's not always necessary. It's just kind of like in a pinch, you could do this one move.
Or that's the super move where you can shove an arrow into somebody's knee, and then you go like, you got Skyrim'd.
Yeah, what was I playing recently? There was some game I played recently that made a Skyrim joke about that. Oh, what was it? I wish I could remember. Because I don't remember what the game was, but I'm pretty sure the joke was something akin to like, oh yeah, I used to be a mercenary, but then I took a really bad like leg injury one day or something like that, and it was like some weirdly worded thing. How the fuck did they see me?
With their eyes, presumably.
Not with their noses. Hey, buddy.
Well, that explains that they were up on the top.
I don't remember them
You are so dead.
I don't remember them ever being up here.
I would be surprised. Oh, okay, you found some cover.
I'm too good. Too good at video games, they told me.
Or does that remind you of that one segment you flubbed up so badly you had to edit part of it out?
I do it for the viewers. Those poor viewers. Alright, got all of them. Yeah, I seriously don't remember them like showing up, but whatever. Maybe it's just dynamic.
No.
Maybe Definitive
This game
Edition...
is good, but it's not that good.
I don't know. Maybe it's just Definitive Edition changed some things around, because I swear I don't remember like all these encounters. Maybe I just got lucky.
You probably forgot.
Yeah, I do forget everything generally. Alright, get an axe in this guy's back.
You've got an axe to grind with this man.
Ah, Brandon jokes. Alright, and this is the guy who's just praying or whatever. I think usually you can just shoot this and that'll blow the whole thing up, if I remember correctly. If I recall correctly. Let's try it! Yep, that's pretty effective.
Yeah, you can end the whole... Yeah, you can fight these guys meticulously or blow them all up.
Yeah, I just didn't remember if it killed everybody. And it's like, yeah, everyone.
Yep. I mean, in their defense, they should not have been standing there right next to an active gas leak.
Yeah, well,
that's their own fault.
Yeah, but you know, we already built the altar here, so we might as well, you know, when the gas leak sprung. Just like, well...
Or maybe that was their subtle attempts to try to commit suicide.
I don't know. I don't think this game is that deep.
No, it's not. Not when it comes to enemies, anyway. It's like every other game in that respect, where the enemies don't really get any sort of characterization.
God, that is a problem that games to this day really have a problem with.
Yeah.
Although, like, it's funny because you see articles where it's like, oh, this boss finally has character, and it's like, yeah, but what about the random guys? Like, they just. Well,
I mean, you mean the player character has to be the most awesome character on the screen. We can't have anyone more awesome than him there, can we? No, yeah. Can't, of course.
Yeah, but it's just like that problem of, like, you know, when you see people talking about Advanced Warfare or whatever, and it's like, oh, the main villain has, like, some character, and it's like, yeah, but fucking, what about the random people you're killing?
Yeah. What about all of his employees you mercilessly slaughter?
There we go. Now I remember how to do this. Yeah, but, you know, game problems. Alright, there we go. That'll do it, and it'll go all slow-mo for some reason. I really don't know why. So this part is, like, when the floor collapses, it's just fucking bizarre to me, because it's just such a, like, action movie set piece.
Yeah. This is one of those sections in the game where you question the logistics of this area's existence.
Yeah. Like, just how does this play?
It's like, where are we, like, spatially on this island, and how does this area, like, fit on this small rock?
Yeah. I mean, I arrowed those guys in the head. I've been doing this for a while.
Yay! You killed that guy! Yay!
Alright, that's where you tell him that Grim is super fucking dead.
He didn't make it.
How dead? Super dead.
It's more dead than dead.
Title of this episode: How dead? Super dead.
Gave me a chance to get to you.
I eagerly await the sequel where Grim comes back to life. So Grim's like, I survived, Laura! I made it!
And then he has trauma because you abandoned him, and he becomes the bad guy of the next game.
Oh, please don't let that happen. I'm begging you.
Laura, you let me die, but I lived and now I'm evil.
I do wonder though, like,
And I am not an Irish accent at all, so I don't know why I'm doing this.
I do have to wonder though if like part of the game's conceit is going to be like Laura's psychological problems with, you know, the shit she sees.
That would have to be a major theme.
Like that seems to be what the trailer implied, right? Because it seemed like she was in like some kind of therapy session. I was like,
maybe that's a narrative device that they're using for that game. Is like Laura endured some pretty tough shit again, and instead of and she has therapy sessions where she explains why she feels like crap.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to use that to do like multiple stories in like a Tomb Raider Chronicles sort of way. Where that game was like...
I mean, like, I would like that because I always like the storyteller trope in video games. Like, that seems to really work for me.
Yeah.
Like, with the Sands of Time, how the story was basically the prince telling someone else the story.
Like how they help you up and then they just hold the bars and they're like... That must be terrifying to be like, well, my entire, like, life rests on Laura not fucking this up. Because there's no way in hell you're getting out of this.
Yeah. And how is this a place on this island? Like, seriously.
It's in a volcano, right? I guess it would have to be.
Why would we have, like, part of the base in the active part of the goddamn volcano?
Yeah, you think they would be like, hey guys, you want to put this base in the volcano? Like, no! No!
Like, you're not, like, a comic book sci-fi villain where you can just put a volcano lair in and make it a livable space.
I mean, isn't Matthias just a comic book villain, though?
Yes, but he's not Doctor Doom.
Man, if Laura's fighting Doctor Doom, that'd be pretty cool. Also, again, I like how they're just like, thanks, bye!
That...
Go figure your way out, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm going in to get Sam.
Because, you know, they just conveniently position you so that you can't take their escape route.
Like, I guess the point I'm trying to make is that, like, you know, this whole thing kind of feels like this is supposed to be a realistic story about a girl learning to fight and survive this really harsh environment. But then all of a sudden it just goes, fucking lava floors, man! Like, it
Yeah, like,
just
say what you
goes
will
to
about
11
Uncharted.
out of nowhere.
Like, say what you will about the Uncharted franchise, it knows it's Hollywood, and it's willing just, like, to live there in the Hollywood space.
It's just such a weird
Where this
thing.
game seems to want to try to do both the Hollywood stuff and, like, the serious real-life survival story stuff. And it's not... And sometimes, and like most oftentimes it works, sometimes like this, it just feels disjointed, and just a little bit.
Yeah, and like every point after this, it mixes between super Hollywood and like sort of toned down. Like, you know, the ship on the coast
Yeah.
of the game is like a bit more toned down, a bit more like the early game.
Yeah,
but like this
like...
whole palace is just straight up like out of an action movie.
Yeah,
it's
it's
ships
like...
constantly
And I don't
exploding.
know if that tonal shift really works as well as they intended it to be. Because, I mean, the whole point of this game is Laura growing up and to become this, like, superhero like badass. But I mean, it's I would like a little bit more grounding in that, like, because then you start doing this fantastical bullshit.
Yeah, and I think it's like the similar problem with the gun about, you know, pacing
Yeah.
and how slow you want it, where I kind of wish this whole game was like really mildly toned, and then the next game would be like crazy action, but instead they're like, they want to do both in the same game, and it's just hard to do within a certain time span. And This
Yeah.
game was like 25 hours long.
And of course, we don't know how it's developed. For all we know, these sections were developed before like the story ever really got
Yeah.
written.
You know, considering it's a Tomb Raider game, I would not be surprised if they developed set pieces.
Because that's a very common like design philosophy. Like again, going back to the Uncharted games, a lot of their design is basically, we want a train level, so we're making this train level. You better find some way to put a train level in the game, in the game story.
I wonder if that just speaks to like game development, where everybody has to be working. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know, you gotta have level designers doing something while people are writing the story.
No one leaves.
So it's kind of like, well, you might as well just make this level.
Yeah,
All this time. I don't know.
we're well past the halfway point in the game at this point, I think,
Yeah.
So are you.
or at least
I mean, are you
somewhat past.
Yeah, and then we get to this
Oh
point where
yeah,
it's like Whitman's acting all
Whitman.
shady. Look at how shady
You know
he's
what?
acting.
This game doesn't need Whitman in the plot at all.
Well, he exists to move the plot forward. He's just,
they're insane.
They
It's
don't
like-
really like need him to move the plot forward though. Like, he's just kind of convenient.
yeah. I like the metaphor I might use is that he's kind of like a wheel on a car, where it's like you can get by on 3, but the 4th one just maybe helps a little bit more.
Yeah,
Like, he's just part of helping the plot forward.
and like all the characters in this game are kind of like cliche, But Whitman is like the most cliche out of all of them because he is basically the stereotypical backstabbing bad guy.
Yeah, like his only motivation is self-interest.
And you see it literally the first time you see him in the story. Literally, you're like, oh, that's the guy that's going to turn bad.
Yeah. It's a
He
shame.
hasn't already turned bad by the time I said that.
Yeah, and that I think that just comes down to subtlety. Like, you could definitely write a character who values his fame and coming back to the island first to tell people about this, but just the way he does it, the way he portrays everybody, just seems so cartoonishly villainous.
I know.
Like, you feel like a real person would, even if they had self-interest in mind first, and even if they wanted to, what's the word I'm looking for? Even if he wanted to tell the story and get the documentary and all that, normal person probably would not want to kill people to do that. He'd probably think of any way not to kill people and get back.
And that's the problem is that a lot of these characters in the game feel like Saturday morning cartoon villains.
Yeah. Matthias,
characters,
I understand a bit better, if only because the single line in the game where he says, "I've been doing this a lot longer than you have," like, it gives me the idea that he's been here so long that he's like, I just want to get off this goddamn island so badly.
Yeah, like, he's the only plausibly crazy person around, but, like, Laura's friends seem like the Scooby Gang.
Yeah,
they Saturday morning
really
cartoon.
remind me of, like, Scooby-Doo Gang.
Yeah, it's like...
Here's the supporting cast.
Yeah.
Well, there's the guy with all my guns.
Because I've been watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and this is basically like Laura is the Vampire Slayer, and everyone's like the sidekick that really shouldn't be in the fight at all, but like they have some uses.
Yeah, also I feel like I'm starting to understand your problem with Sam, where it's like this idea of if Laura can change and become someone who is willing to kill people to get by, then it's weird that Sam can't.
Yeah.
But they don't really like emphasize that Sam is uncomfortable
with
weapons or anything.
They don't point out like why Sam...
Yeah, like it could have been explained with some dialogue where Sam's just like super uncomfortable with guns. Maybe she has a bad past with them, or just some kind of
like
experience or psychological problem.
Or like if she was like terrified or throwing up or something, like I don't know.
Yeah, but she's always just like generically scared.
Yeah. And the problem is that she's scared enough to convey that maybe she's somewhat uncomfortable, but not enough to convey that she can't do something.
Yeah,
when she by all rights really should be.
I think that's really the root of the problem with Sam. Is she's just either she's too scared or she's not scared enough.
Like she could leverage like if she was thinking she could leverage the fact that she's the chosen one to like pressure Matthias into getting things done for her. It's like if you kill Laura, I'll kill myself and you get nothing.
Yeah. But it's like I would definitely say that you can definitely make a character who is just so incredibly scared and still make that a good character. Also, I've been playing too much Watch Dogs, so I keep clicking the left stick to reload.
But like with Sam, they don't do anything. She's just damsel.
Yeah, she is the all-time classic damsel in distress.
She is the chick,
and it hurts her character a lot.
It's like, because we have Alex, who's the nerdy guy. We have Jonas, who's the guy who's like the survivalist character. We have Reyes, who's the spunky black chick, and Sam is like the girl.
Yeah,
that's her character. Like, Laura is the man in this relationship, and she's the chick.
Yeah, which is there's something to be said for that. Of like, hey, you can just make it a story with a girl, and then that way you can appeal to people who want to play as a girl. But it's just kind of weird how like she is just such a cipher character that it could have just been a guy.
Yeah.
Like there's certainly a debate to be had. I've had with many people before about like if you make female characters, do they have to be female-esque or can they just be males who are just happen to be female in terms of like what they do? And there's arguments for both.
I mean, it's up to the creator. I really don't care either way.
Like, I feel like for Laura, it kind of works where it's like, yeah, like, she doesn't need specific feminine traits in her character. Like, it works just fine.
But the fact she is a female does inform her character in some respects, even if it doesn't, like, change who she fundamentally is for the game's plot.
Yeah.
It changes the context in which she does these things for the plot. Yeah. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. I mean, there's like, if you mean context in the game, or do you mean like context in like society, or just the way we
yeah,
like the way we view females as heroes.
And we should find the next stopping point because we're past 20 minutes.
There will be one soon. If I remember correctly. Also, if you hear any buzzing in the background...
I love how you're now getting killer headshots.
Yeah, this thing is like you get the thing that's like, alright, now you get bonus experience.
Yeah. Wasn't a headshot, lady. It was a badass headshot for bonus XP.
That's such a weird thing. You know, like,
especially in this like game that's supposed to be about Laura struggling against all odds.
Yeah, it's
like, yeah, this is
funny because like I still defend that in the sense that of like a Spec Ops sort of way of like, let's take a look at, you know, the violence the character's committing, but you're right that it's kind of at odds with this survivor story.
It's like, oh yeah, she's fighting against all odds, but at the same time she's making killer headshots.
Yeah. Confuse themes.
Or brutal finishers.
At least it doesn't have like an announcer that's just like headshot. Alright.
I would love a mod of this game that just like whenever you took a headshot, it just has someone like refereeing your basketball game go 2 points. 2 points. 2 points. 2 points.
Alright, I believe this is like the last little scripted thing before there's fire.
Oh yeah, this is like the part where like she noticeably has a change in demeanor.
Yeah, it's she gets a great.
It's like literally right
after this, which is probably when we stop.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And I love making fun of this voice because it's a great moment for a character, but it's also like a really weird moment at the same time.
Yeah, we've mentioned it often.
I don't know
before,
how.
But
I don't know.
I'm really excited to talk about that moment when it comes up. So I think when it does happen, we should probably just be quiet so we can let the line go through. Because I do feel like it's important. Makes me wish I had audio ducking, but you know, I don't want to bother to do that this far in.
Yeah.
Alright, I believe
So I think this is a good time to be quiet, so let the line run.
Yes, and then there should be a checkpoint right after this. Yep, and that's the line.
Run, you bastards! I'm coming for you all!
I don't think her like voice acting is that bad, but it's
No,
just
it is. I am being unnecessarily mean.
Yeah, but it's certainly interesting to think about. Of just like this is a like very dramatic shift in character.
And for the typical macho protagonist we see in like all these kinds of games, that would be like another like passing line no one would give any shits about whatsoever.
Oh yeah, it'd just be like.
But in
yep,
this game,
the line I say for this
but in this game, since Laura's gone through so much crap in the beginning section, she's earned that battle cry. Just for like a couple of seconds in her life, where she's like, "Yes, for once in this goddamn game, I'm the badass."
Yeah,
So deal with it, motherfuckers.
Just you know, as we mentioned way before, because I think we mentioned on like episode 1 or 2 that specific line, but I like it just because it's a noticeable shift in character where she went from being scared to being like, I am going to get this done. All right, let me get my last upgrade, and then we will call it for this episode. Alright guys, that'll be it for this episode. So if you like this, you can hit the like button below and support us a bit, and if you want to keep seeing more episodes, then you can subscribe. And of course, if you want to be involved in any discussion, you can comment below in the little comment box thingy. It's not the doobly-doo, that's the subscription, right?
Yeah.
And we will see you guys next time on Interactive Fiction Season 2. Bye everybody.
Bye guys.